Hi again. I just finished one video, but there were a couple of points that my blabbing sort of jumped right over. I don't script what I'm saying. So one thing that especially all of you new people should understand, this QAnon phenomenon is not just about Democrats, Republicans. It's about good and evil. And if you think about all of the hopefully you can differentiate between good and evil. But if you think about some of the most disgusting areas of life where evil people reign and rule, and what would happen if in a lawless society, you can imagine that the most evil people will rise to the top. So QAnon is also it's not just about unveiling politicians who are corrupt to the core, or institutions that are evil, corrupt to the core, and destabilizing to a world that should be full of peace and harmony. It's also about some of the activities of these people in these organizations. Child trafficking is something which has been really exposed since Trump has come into office, and that's not an accident. He mentioned before he came into office that he would be working on this. Jeff Sessions, this year alone, has around 3,000 arrests in the United States for child trafficking and associated crimes. The point about child trafficking isn't, you shouldn't see it as simply about abusing children and sex, although that's bad enough. It's a control mechanism. The people in power, generally much above our government even, whether it's the international bankers, the banking families that control everything, the different groups and organizations, they use what are considered sinful activities as leverage to know whether they can trust someone with their dirty secrets or not. This is a time-tested tactic by them, to alliterate a little bit. So essentially it's so, and we see this in Hollywood, we see this in international organizations, we see this in government itself, in secret societies. Hollywood's, the cover's being ripped off that right now. But if they have dirt on you, they know that you can't tell on them for the crimes they're committing. This is not some sort of side effect. This is the main tactic that they use. In the 50s, I was born in the late 50s, but in the 50s, 60s, and before that, you could be accused of being a homosexual and you would be excluded out of every possible position of power, authority, and income. That doesn't work anymore. The Overton window of our acceptable sexual reference has been so moved that homosexuality is fully tolerated now, really, which is absolutely fine. Absolutely. It should be. But the point is they can no longer use homosexuality as a lever against these people, so they continually up the ante. And essentially at the end of that chain of disgusting behavior is sex, murder, and other abuse of children. There is, in fact, a worldwide network of child traffickers. This has been known. It's a modern-day slavery. It's called white slavery in many cases, which has to do with the reason they're being kidnapped and used and sold, has nothing to do with their skin color. So these trafficking networks are used by the elite to control other elites and to satisfy their evil carnal desires as well. The Clintons are heavily involved in this. Look up Laura Silsby and Haiti. Look up the Clinton Foundation in Haiti. They are loathed down there. They get billions and billions in contributions. When a tragedy happens, they use that tragedy to suck money out of you and other good-willed people around the world to use it for their very nefarious, personal, greedy ends. In any case, the child trafficking That is, of course, known by organizations like the CIA, the Mossad. They're the largest murder, drug-running, child trafficking organizations that there are. The non-governmental organizations like the Red Cross, like the United Nations. All of these supranational organizations are also heavily involved in that. It doesn't come to you alone. You'll never see it in CNN, MSNBC, and other bullshit media. They are lying to you. They are owned by these organizations that are controlling these child trafficking networks. Look at the work of people like Craig Sawyer. He's on the ground. He's has an organization, Vets for Child Rescue, I believe it's called, doing excellent work on this. Liz Crokin is someone you should watch on YouTube. She has done a lot of work on this and is in daily danger because of the work she's doing. Just last Monday, this week, there was a journalist found who had given evidence to the FBI and to Homeland Security, and was about to do it give it to the Justice Department when she was murdered in her Washington hotel room. This is not a rare thing. Seth Rich was murdered. She was murdered. There are a lot of people involved with investigating the Democratic National Committee, the Clinton Foundation. Look up Clinton body count, watch the Clinton Chronicles. If you're not convinced by that, there is no hope for you. You may as well just go grab another margarita and enjoy your life. It will end, and you will have to pay for any crimes you're involved in or involved in through just ignorance and omission. In any case, Trump is currently in the process of disabling these networks. Epstein Island, the Saudi Arabia connections, they all had a great role to play in child kidnapping, child abuse, child sexual trafficking. And this will all come out soon. There will be trials. These people will be brought to justice, and it's about damn time. If this is too radical for you, if you can't stand it, do some research into it yourself. And if you're not disgusted by that, if you're not convinced by that, then I'm sorry, you're in the wrong place. I don't need to hear your ridicule. Unless you have an informed opinion, I'm absolutely willing and actually eager to hear counter opinions on this. But look up the Dutch banker who just did not want to go so far as to killing children to keep his elitist job. Look up that in YouTube. In any case, this was supposed to be a short addendum, and I hope it brought something. Hopefully it's not too dark for you, but these are the kinds of things that these people who we are fighting against are into and supporting and have been for a long time. And just like Hillary Clinton can have her public opinion and her private opinion, she always works for her private opinion, not for your public opinion that she's trying to sell you. She is deeply involved in this stuff, and she will be brought to justice very soon. And I'm happy about that. Okay, cheers everybody.